Hello and welcome back. So, here I have a headstock. It has already made holes for tuners, and I'm going to show you how I do when I go to fill these holes so I can fit a different size tuner. Okay, so the first thing I do is that I take a piece of scrap wood and I use my pillar drill. You don't have to use your pillar drill, but I suggest you do because that's the best way to get a straight hole. I do a 10mm hole because that's the size we need to plug the holes on the guitar. And I make sure this hole is nice and neat and it's completely straight into this piece. I then take my plugs that I'm going to use to plug the hole and I cut them to size. You only need 3 of these and then you can cut them in half and you get 2. And you can also make your own plugs, but honestly they cost like, I don't know, $1 for a bag of hundreds or something. So you can also just buy them. Okay, so the next thing I do is I take one of these cut plugs, I put it into its hole. Fits perfectly. Then I take this tool, this marking tool that I showed you in one of my guitar life hacks. It's just a piece of acrylic and it's transparent. It has a circle and the circle has a perfect middle marked out. So all I have to do is make sure they line perfectly up. The circle on the mark and the circle of the hole. And once I'm perfectly satisfied with that the circles are lining up, I can just take an awl. I can make a little mark. And I'm going to do this to all of them and then I'll show you the next step. Because you need to do this to all 6 of them. Okay, so now that I've marked them all out, I put them back into the hole, like so. And I do that so I have a center point and I have something to hold this, because I know that this is completely straight. And then I move over to my drill press. Okay, so this is the bit that I'm gonna use to drill the holes. Now I start out with drilling the holes one size and I drill it an undersize because I don't want to blow the whole part out. These are 10mm plugs and this is a 5mm drill bit. So that's gonna leave me plenty of space around the hole to then glue it in. Now these are the kind of drill bits you use in your wood cutting. There are some for metal and others for things like plaster. You can see a tiny little needle-like point, and those are the ones you use for wood cutting, basically. If you try these on metal, they will just break apart. They're not made for that. But that little tip that is perfect for locating holes, and that's why we marked them with an awl, because the awl has a tiny little tip too. And so when we go to drill this hole, it will find the center in that mark we did perfectly. So let's go over to the drill press. Okay, so now I'm gonna drill this hole, and all I have to do is I have to line up the tip of the bit with the mark that I've already made. Like so. And now all I have to do is start it Okay, so now I've drilled all of the 6 little holes in these plugs. So now all I have to do is I put some glue around it, and I'm using regular wood glue. You can use epoxy, or I suppose you could maybe even use super glue. I don't know, I've never tried that. I would stick to regular wood glue if I were you. But anyway, put some around, and then you just take your guitar and you put it in the hole and you tap it in, something like that, and you leave it to dry. Okay, so now the glue has dried and we're just going to take and open up the holes. And the way I'm going to open these holes up is I'm going to use a step bit. You don't have to use it, you can take regular bits and just work your way up, but then you have to change out and go from one size to next and to next and to next. And so I recommend these step bits are really cheap, so I recommend you buy those. The size of these holes now is 5mm, and I'm gonna open up them to about 8, I think. Yeah, I'm gonna open them to 8. So first I open up them one step, then I flip it over, and I continue drilling from the other side. And then I go back to the first side, and then I go to the other side. And I'm gonna do that to all the holes. Okay, so now I have drilled out the holes, and I can start putting in the new tuners. The way I put in these vintage style ferrules without damaging them is I take a vise and I just clamp them in place, and the pressure will put them in. So now the tuners are in place. I hope you can see them. Here's the back. This is harder than it looks, but there they are. Now I just need to make a new nut, but that's gonna be another video. Thank you guys so much for watching. It was awesome of you to do so. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. And I hope if you're a vintage guitar nerd like me, I mean, I'm actually a nerd of guitars in every way, but anyway, if you enjoy this, let me know in the comments below. If it helps you out, let me know in the comments below. Makes me happy to know. I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.